I hoped that I would never have to make this video, but now I feel obligated to make this, mainly to express my feelings of frustration and to rant. ShiftUp really needs to be called out for their questionable actions. They never fixed the macro problem. ShiftUp handled this problem in the worst way possible for the last 6 months. It all started back in August when ShiftUp declared this so-called war against macros. The way ShiftUp implemented it was horrible and there were a lot of false positives. If you were fast-clicking anywhere in the game, you could get falsely flagged as a macro user. This eventually blew up because of the high number of false positives and ShiftUp stopped temporarily. Since Ultra Solo Raid, ShiftUp brought back their macro anti-cheat detection as their second attempt trying to ban macro users. There was no mention of it in the patch notes. However, the macro anti-cheat still has the same flaws as it had during August. In the span of those 3 months without macro detection, ShiftUp did nothing about upgrading or fixing their macro anti-cheat / third-party software. The only difference between August and today is that it's not active everywhere. If you are a casual player, you would never know about this, and I'm pretty sure this was ShiftUp's intention. It's just enabled during modes such as Solo Raid, Towers, Campaign. It could be enabled in Union Raid, but I can't confirm it since I never got banned there. Anyways, the same problems are there. If you fast click while playing these modes, you can get falsely flagged as a macro user. This problem is becoming worse because there are now 2 meta teams where you have to fast click in order to do damage, which are the Alice team and Biscuit Infinite Reload team. You can check the description of this video to see an instance of where I got falsely banned because I was clicking too fast. ShiftUp is wasting their time trying to ban macro users. Here I made a really simplified illustration of how it's impossible to ban them. As you can see, Nikke's anti-cheat macro detection in simplified terms is just a click threshold where if you click above this threshold, so if you click too fast, you get banned. Let's now see the perspective of a macro user regarding this. If you ever get flagged by the anti-cheat, which would only be a 1-minute ban if it was your first time, there's one simple thing you can do. You can just adjust the settings of your macro clicker so that you are below the threshold. As it stands right now, if you are competitive, it's safer to use a macro than to play legitimately. I wouldn't be surprised if most of the bans happening right now are just false positives. If after 3 months you can't find a way to ban macro users and you are just using the same flawed anti-cheat that is falsely banning non-macro players, you should just give up trying to ban macro users and fix the game by removing macro detection entirely. Personally, I believe that macro users represent a big part of Nikke's revenue. I would even say they are their biggest spenders. With how badly ShiftUp managed this problem, if they really took that problem seriously and just banned them without fixing the game will just go on a decline and eventually go end of service. One of the many questionable things that SU has done is cash in on the macro usage by releasing an Alice banner back in April and started sanctioning against macros in August. That's why I ask to remove the incentives of using a macro or even reconsider your stance on macros as valid solutions. There are multiple suggestions that have been brought up by the community for 6 months. While I know that ShiftUp has said that there was going to be a sniper rifle / rocket launcher rework, I just want to point out how disappointing the lack of updates in this matter is. In their December dev notes, which is the last time it was talked about, the devs literally said that they don't know what to do. Let me quote for you, as the answers to our survey questions do not show a clear inclination toward a particular side, the developer team is still engaged in intense discussions and meticulous analysis. The concerning part is that because this is a problem that only affects a very small number of players, I believe that ShiftUp will just continue to ignore this problem just like they have been doing for the last 6 months. The rework will probably take years and they will still be falsely banning random non-macro players meanwhile. It's really making me lose interest in the game because I've already been falsely banned 4 times. What if the next time I get falsely banned for just playing the game gives me a more severe ban? I don't want to find out. If Shift Up doesn't even allow legitimate non-macro players to play, what's the reason for playing this game? Anyways, I just wanted to show you the horrible state of competitive play for legitimate players. It's in its worst state it's ever been because of Shift Up's mismanagement. This problem is just one of the many others this game has, but it's the most egregious one. I've never seen devs that could mismanage this poorly. If you watched until the end of the video and you care, you can like or share this video to other players even if they are casual, just to make this problem more known. Also, I made a feedback thread on the official Discord server for Nikke. If you want, feel free to upvote or just discuss about it over there.